Hello, beautiful, and welcome to Backstage with me at the Plaza. So, as you know, this last Saturday I had the chance to perform at the Plaza, and I was so super happy to do that again. That was my second time actually performing there. And the first thing that I really wanted to say is this is kind of a dream come true for me because I remember years ago sitting on one of my first online courses about burlesque and mindset with Ginger Valentine. And she was like, just get a page on a notebook and write down everything that you want. And I want you to go big. I want you to write things for your performing career that sound crazy, things you have no idea how you're going to get. And I remember the top of my list was perform at the plaza. And one thing that I wanted to share with you is at the time, in my mind, the only way I could ever achieve that was with 10 years work working on a performance that would be good to go on stage, on that kind of stage, that I could be booked for like Ola La Cherie and so on. That was the only way that I could see. That's why I tell you a lot about have the dream, but don't restrict yourself with the how. Because the how can come in ways that you don't imagine, because you just don't know about them yet. And that's how I got that. So I remember my first time was a year and a half ago, right after Corona, September on that year, I think 2023 now, so 2021, September. That was my first. I wasn't even ready. I don't have footage of that act, unfortunately, because I had nobody to come and film for me like I did today. By the way, thank you for the girls who did that for me. And it wasn't super a great performance. It was good. I loved doing that. This time was definitely better. I was so ready. I know exactly what to do. I'm such a better performer today. So the thing is, I have to write a new list. Maybe top of my list will be Burlesque Hall of Fame. But yes, so that's why I tell you, write down things that will scare you and things you have no idea how you're gonna achieve, and let the universe take care of the rest. And when I mean universe, I have, as I say always to you, there is two ways of seeing that. So for some people, it might be really energy or whatever you believe. If you're not really into those things, that's also okay. Because actually, what happens is your brain is making the connections even if you don't know. So remember that exercise we did once with, and you can do that anytime, by the way, if you haven't done that yet. Think of a color that's not very common for a car. And then I want you to go out today when you go out, or tomorrow, or whatever, and find those cars. And trust me, you're gonna find them. If I think of blue cars, like blue cars are not that common anymore. Yellow, I think that the time I did yellow, I saw so many yellow cars that day and more after. You are wired to look for what you want to look for. So maybe if you are thinking that you want to perform somewhere specifically, your brain's going to make these connections like, oh, wait, if I do this, then it will lead me to that. Maybe if you don't do that, if you don't know that consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously, your brain's like, oh, well, this person is connected to that, and that's why they're going to invite me to do this, even if you don't know. So just do it. Don't overthink it. Write the things that you want, and you're just gonna get there. So, I have here the selection, as I told you, of my videos with some extra things for you. So, my first one is one of the first videos that I took as soon as I got there, which is this one. So, this is what it looks like backstage at the plaza, behind stage. And actually, so some things I want to say. So I will start actually with a bit of history. So this is not what it used to look like. It was very different actually. I might have some old pictures, but they had posters from their old performances there everywhere. And I remember because one of my coaches was at the Olala Shiri like 10 years ago, and I remember seeing her poster there and taking a picture to send to her. So yeah, so that's not so they refurbished that, which I really like because it was so dark before because of so many posters. So now it's bright and white, and that's actually a new thing, the neon. So Backstage is the smallest disco, and that's really true because it's so much fun being there, I must say. And then, so what I want to talk about is what backstages look like. So at the plaza, we are actually quite lucky because you have a toilet, you have this big mirror that you've just seen in this video. There you go, here, with lights. Um, and we even have a fridge. If you can see behind me there is a little fridge. That's not true in every backstage. So, a mascot, for example, the fridge doesn't always work, so sometimes it's off. And we don't have a mirror like that. Everybody has to bring their own mirrors. We have a big one that everybody shares. And we don't have a toilet there. So, actually, we have to go 2 floors down to go to the toilet. However, we do have a shower, which is really good. And light, so if you can always bring one of those ring lights for you, or nowadays there are those mirrors with lights. Those are great things to bring backstage because you never know. And everywhere is different, so these are venues used to having shows. However, when you perform at a bar or when you perform a private event, you never know what you're going to have. So I always recommend bring everything that you might need. So don't expect them to have anything, especially mirror and a power strip because you want to do your hair or something, and maybe the plug is super far from the mirror, or maybe it's somewhere very inconvenient. So you can just use your power strip, and then you have a plug next to you. So do that. Then two things, some etiquette. So most places will give you the arrival time. Ask them if they don't. Usually it's 2 to even 10, 12 hours before a show, depending on what kind of thing you're doing. Private gigs, it might be less, so maybe 4 to 2 hours before the show. And big shows, like at big stages, usually even up to 12 hours before the show. So be ready. And a word on rehearsal. So also most places will give you the time that you have for the stage, because most of the time you're not the only one there. Sometimes there is a band, sometimes there are other performers. So it's all about what time have do you have to be ready to do your rehearsal on stage. And we're also going to talk on how you can make most of that time. By the way, I wanted to say something. You maybe noticed that I've been recording my videos while I'm on a treadmill, so maybe you have a little background noise. I did check, it wasn't too bad. That's why I've been doing it. And this is why, I mean, that I'm doing that because I'm practicing to sing on stage. And the funny thing is, when you speak and you walk, you need a bit more air, and you have to kind of learn how to deal with your breathing and your aerial resource around you so you can strip, walk, and sing at the same time. So I'm actually preparing my lungs to do that. So that's why. But yeah, and I don't think it bothers because I can't hear that when I see the video back. But that's just, curiosity. Nobody knows that, only you know. Then let's go to the next part. So here I have this video. Let me go back because I speak a little. So, backstage, can be really small, and sometimes you have a lot of performers with you. So, it's really, really nice if you can occupy as little as possible. So, the way I like to do that is to pick a corner and also be a little mindful of how often you're going to perform. So sometimes a performer is going to do 2 or 3 acts. So maybe leave them the space closest to the door because they have to rush the most. If you are doing one or something, find a place in the back because you're just doing one and then you don't have to reach for your thing so often. So this is one thing. Um, Make sure you're organized. To be really honest with you, not everybody I've worked with backstage is organized. So some people like never find what they want, are always like, oh my god, where is this? Where is it? I was just here. That happens quite a lot, to be honest. But I'm here to teach you how to be the best professional you can. And I find it very, very professional to have everything organized and not to be stressing other people with helping you find your stuff. Having said that, things happen. Sometimes you forget your glue. That's totally okay. Ask someone for a glue. Sometimes, something breaks. Ask someone for help. That's totally fine. But there is a difference in like, okay, this was unexpected and this happened, or oh my god, where is everything? So be mindful of that. What I do, as I showed in the video, I put the smallest pieces under because no people are gonna move around. So if I leave something very light on top, maybe I don't know, I have a flower for my act. So if I leave this flower on top, maybe someone will come, move past, and drop it. That's totally possible. Everybody has huge costumes. So what I do is I put the heaviest on top, like in this case, the dresses, because then underneath I can store the things that are not as heavy and make sure that they don't disappear, in the middle of everything else. And then there is two important things I would like to talk to you about here. So first, what to rehearse with and time management. So again, you arrive and there will be the time in which you are supposed to go on stage to practice your performance. I would recommend rehearsing with the trickiest parts of your costume and your shoes. So because then you can feel whether like the it's too slippery, and if there is a tricky part of your costume, it's like you have one extra rehearsal with that. So for me, I did rehearse with the red dress because I always want to make sure that I find the zipper back in my back, and with the blue skirt and the skirt underneath because sometimes I feel like it's gonna get caught in the zipper. And I practice with my jazz shoes mostly because my feet are hurt, so I couldn't wear heels. Uh, so I only wore heels for the actual show. Um, and time management. So you're gonna have some downtime before you rehearse and also after. And you have to do hair, you have to do makeup, and so on. So make sure that you manage your time. And I had a lot to iron and steam for the show. So make sure you manage that. So make sure that you know the times you have to be on stage and be there for that. And then as soon as you have some extra time, go do your stuff, go get your food, go do your hair or whatever you have to do. And some etiquette, of course. Make sure that you don't touch other performers' personal things. Really, don't do it. Don't move them. If you have to move something or if you want to, ask them first. Okay? Just don't go there and do it. Yeah? That's very important. Next is exactly the downtime I've been speaking about. So there is quite a lot of downtime, to be honest. I don't take very long time doing my makeup, so I don't do actually much makeup, to be honest. So I have a lot of time to just watch what's going on, and I love it. I really love it. So there is two videos here. I'll show you. So this is during preparation. I wanted to show you the stage. And here was when Jeannie and Nana were rehearsing. So I was just waiting for my turn so I could have a look. They were doing the lights for their act. So, what I would say is a little common sense here is all you need, honestly. So, if don't be in the middle of the stage, don't be somewhere people are trying to do something. There will be people moving chairs, moving tables. Like, just make sure that you're not in the way. Um, Most of the time, it's totally okay to film and take pictures of things. We are in burlesque. So make sure that if you take a picture of someone or if you end up filming someone and they are like naked or something like that, don't post it. Like when they're fully clothed, it's mostly okay. If you know they are actually not a professional performer, also ask. Most professional performers will be okay with that, but if you can just ask everybody, oh, look, you are here in the video, is it okay if I post that? That's all. Really, only common sense. That's all you need. And sometimes we practice without pasties at first. So many women will be without their bra, with just their breasts out. So that's probably not a good time to take pictures or film. So it's really just about common sense. So you already have it. And last but not least, here, attention. So maybe your rehearsal is in the middle. So there will be some people before you, there will be you, and some people after you. So make sure that you just don't go away, somewhere nobody can find you. And most of the time, the art director will be there guiding us through the rehearsal. So sometimes they have a mic, sometimes not. But if you know, okay, my rehearsal is after this performer, and you see that they are going on stage, just stay aware. Okay, next is mine. Make things run smoothly for you and also for the art director because you want to cause a good impression. And it's not very professional when people have to find you. Oh, it's her turn. Where is she? Where is she? Someone go grab her. So don't do that. Pay attention, even if you are somewhere else, if you're doing something else, try to stay mindful, of the time. Maybe listen. If they have a mic, that's great because, you're always aware of what's going on. And yeah, just do your part as nicely as you can. Then, here it's my slide on calming your nerves. Let me just play it for you first. So, this is one thing that I do. So, if you breathe very quickly, you get yourself more excited. And if you breathe really slowly, especially if you exhale longer than you inhale, that will make your heartbeat go down and calm yourself. So what I do is this. So there will be moments of the butterfly, and if you have a curtain, I have a lot of butterflies behind the curtain. I can't film that moment because I'm ready to go on stage, but I remember behind the curtain, and you can hear people cheering out, and the curtain is about to open, and you are there. And of course, you don't want to be shaking. So, what I do, that moment has a lot of butterflies. So, you breathe in, I do 5 and 7. So, I breathe in for 5 and breathe out for 7. And Believe me, you do that 3 times, your shaking will go away. Many things will disappear. You feel really calm. And trust me, this is just right before. Once the curtain is open and you start dancing, you forget about it. So don't worry. It's just really a little before. If you have other techniques, I'm definitely not the best and not the specialist at that. Go for it. If you have meditation techniques, do it. If you feel comfortable mingling with the audience before the show, do it. Just make sure that you're not showing up in your full costume. You want this to be a surprise after all. So what I do, I have a robe, and I wear the robe when I go out. Um, and if that helps you, do it. If it doesn't help you, don't do it. I stay backstage all the time because I like to be focused. But some people prefer to mingle first. Totally up to you. Now, so as I said, sometimes backstage is quite small and you have to be creative and explore your options. So at the plaza, for example, we use the bathroom a lot. And sometimes you won't find a place to hang your clothes. That's okay. Don't hang them. If you can't, find also another solution for you. I'll show you in a moment where I ended up hanging my robe. And yeah, find a good light if you can. Some backstages will have it. Maybe you're gonna have to bring your own mirror. Maybe it's the bathroom. Just go for whatever works for you. And I would say the rule of thumb is if you're not sure, ask. So sometimes, oh, can I use this space to do my makeup? Can I do this? Can I do that? Just ask the organizer. Okay. Every show will have someone who's responsible. Some shows there will be more than one person. So, for example, at Tease Me Please, I am responsible for my girls, and Emma is responsible for the whole show. So usually you ask me, and then I'll ask her. Or you can ask her directly, she doesn't mind. But mostly I would ask the person who booked you, the person who is responsible for you. In their absence, you ask them, who should I ask? Okay? And sometimes you have to go out of the venue, maybe to grab some food. Maybe I bring my food with me already, so I don't have to go out. But some people do. Some people need to smoke, for example. And if you have to, just again, be mindful. Don't go out right before you have to rehearse, all of those things. And let me show you where I ended up putting my robe. So here is the backstage. And then I found a place there for the robe. And he is really behind the DJ, at the plaza. And I was like, well, it will stay here. It just worked. Yeah. And last but not least, backstage fun. So you're doing something amazing. How many people can say that? They're showgirls and just living the life. So have fun with it. As I told you, there is a lot of downtime. I feel it. Take the time, film yourself, take selfies, just stay as always attentive of other people's needs. So if you're too loud, bothering someone, please don't do that. But if you're quiet on your own, taking a few selfies, going around the venue, taking pictures, that does no harm. And after show, a quick one on that. So many people feel like super high after the show and they can barely sleep. So after the show, go home and relax. Have some tea, something that will help you relax. And enjoy, really enjoy the moment. Ride that high if you want to. And some etiquette. It's not because the show is over that the world is back to normal, let's say. You're still a performer. So when you go out there, Be nice. People are looking at you. People just saw you on stage. Maybe they want to take pictures. Don't I you know me, I love drinking, but still I don't get pissed drunk. First because I don't anyway. But mostly, don't go do something that will make you look bad in the future, especially for the art director. It's the end of the show. Yeah, are you allowed to just go drink and have fun? Of course. But be an adult. That's all I say. That's the etiquette. Be an adult. And of course, have fun. That was me showing off my panties. So, just to sum it up, I just want to go over real quick a few words. If you only remember a few words, these are the words: be on time, be mindful of other people, and that not every venue is going to have everything. Most venues don't. So bring everything you might need. Make sure you are on time for your rehearsal, and make sure you are mindful of other people's space and personal objects. Don't touch them. When you have downtime, take your time to breathe, meditate, do your social media, enjoy the moment. Just be there, cheering other people, seeing if someone needs help. Be creative on what you can do. Maybe you can even take pictures in the bathroom because they look so good. If you have to go out, be mindful of the time. And finally, behave like an adult. So go out, go party, but be nice to people. Be nice to people who came to watch your show. They are the ones who might book you again. And also, they are there to support you. And that's very important. What is beautiful about a show is nobody comes to a show hoping that the performer is going to fail. Everybody there is on your side. They are there to have a good time watching you have a good time. They are there for you. They are your cheerleaders. It's so beautiful. So they want you to be able to do your best job because that makes them feel the best too. So go there and thank them if you want. It's totally okay if you don't want to talk to everybody, but it's so cool. And you know me, I'm a huge introvert, and I just learned to do that. And it's about the connection, It's not about like the small talk, but people are very sincere. You can see in their eyes. So go out there, see how it feels. You don't have to be untrue to yourself. So if something doesn't feel good, don't go, don't stay. But if it does, like let it be. Don't have any preconceptions. Try it first. It's a big family. And thank you so much for watching, as always.